Seven sins. Within that misty tear-dropping day existed shadows and graves. It was the location of former slaves. The high forests shrinked, stripped from its olive peels, rough and busted. Its frail skin left it looking disgusted. Molded branches, its disfigured picture, akin to a podium, yet stand zero winners. As my eyes roll back, like film strips, up to me like a parade of bats. No matter how often I quack, your vets can't seem to turn back. An ambitious man you were, one who tasted the heights of success. You also heard fortunes of others you stress. A man who felt flames of one's own hates. Eyes which saw, desire to take. Until the dust settled, then all was at stake. Your life had begun to break. A mere pawn, yet saw yourself as best. Crowned king with the armor of authority. Crest of success, badge that stands above the rest. Gawked by countless sights, a beacon of light. Command is great, wish I could relate. Your aura was immense, all were tensed. Your boulders were stacking, then your transmissions began lacking. Self-esteem deity, a storm of responsibility. I'm an ant who sought an animal I couldn't trap, so here I stand dry. Why tears fly? He stood at the highest hill, king of the jungle, sturdy and great. High rise, mosquitoes he marked and seized his weight. You're a scorpion in a lake, your fate won't turn late. Your inflated ego aches my gaze. Bested by avians, your stress seemed great, and I'm sure you wondered when your life functioned back to our place. My stunted pride destroyed your ways we could have helped. Now I'm back in notes, in a state of idle worship. Surely you sensed regret, the perception of a god. Numb you of your honor, unseen sorrow, you defied your nature, became the traitor, the contentness of his pests. Surely it's a wish you wish you could have kept. Did you ever wonder if the crown you wore was heavy enough to break you? Beware, for a complex of a god blinds your sights as poor as mice. Please seek the door of humility. Draw yourself to the gates of feasibility. I realized when pride inflates, outcomes deflate. King of Valendoria, infamous, notorious, placing dwellers to shame. Neighboring road a benevolence of elegance, which itched your irritant ears. Great king who had it all, proud and fortified, or so ye thought. For every stare, chinks of diamonds began to tear. King of Adrazel, favoured and praised, setting residents to honour. I noticed then, your esteem grew lower. With every sight I took of this fine steak, a distorted colour placed you on stake. I saw a dominant king transition thin. I saw a proud grin rotating grim. Literatures of success I saw drenched. A divulged sulk desire to possess. King of Adrazel, proud, renowned and rich, often mumbled out to your lips, He you viewed as grand as shark, as you were humbled into fish. Luxurious notes honouring his fruits, several hands aired, though yours never dared. Mountains in your mind, alienated like tides. Look at that brain, his limbic stand is sadistic, with clenched fists, cemented grip, ironed joints. Those things were bricks. His ferrous stones altered to ferric knives slicing tides. And this outrage of shouts, shouldn't you, a god, carry no spouts? Constant dwelling on the elegance of his dressing, though you never counted the beauty of your blessing. I recall your crumbles, lying floor flat, only a matter of time before the trigger snapped. With all the roaring casualties he marked, he would have loved a restart. The taste of resent left you parched. Why must jealousy mercilessly strike your heart? Voided and sparked, your pan brew and snapped. Instant ignition, the start of your wrath. The poison of resent, I saw foam contempt. You were a volcano, escalating ill intent, his mental prickles seething bit by bit, to which you perceived it a flame of light. Veins were at sight, boiling, sharp, ready to fight. And the trigger snapped. What's these places roaring from your breath? Consecutive bullets piercing through vast spirits. Have you truly gone ballistic? His harsh wild steam travelled distance, causing mountains of many latent tears. I recall as your vicious strikes caused my dermals to spike. Your flame served the rope of bonds, pierced the heart's good souls. The paintings of wrath led it down a dimful path, an omniscient sight which led to many falls. So why canst thou detect thy cause? His ominous plague ingrained stones of pain. I see tears of devastation, the byproduct of your vexation. What's this flare of rage you let consume your days? You cling to flames as if it were chains. Does the desire to frame cause demons to rattle your brain? It was a pit bull blinded by outrage, infernal blaze. I witnessed as it destroyed your saintly ways. Once the sparks had tainted his scars, I laid eyes on a creature who'd been rough and parched. With all these burns you've done and marked, was it really worth the intense spark? Valendoria snapped, vicious sequel of its wild wrath. Empty sight with none to belittle. Despite a glass full of wine, its fangs continued to dribble. Voided you lied, in search of the next crack to take. A restive hound, how much must one need? I saw it be the birth of greed. I reflect the craves of possession, forsaken by the waves of its aggression. Pot of a witch, yearning for toxins to shade the ditch. Its spirit of need stuck like a toad, hoped for pleasure to meet its road. Was it kingship which caused our jaws longing for more? Hungers were a silent bore. I heard mutters become a roar. Look at that beast, as it spooned its gems in chest. Your overflow of bits will take you to regret. Did the stance of king justify thy draws, disregarding the rest? It slayed Valendoria and chased a utopia. This desire for greed made your heart colder. Every gain a drizzle gripped, boldened your eyes to many rabbits. Do you now see how greed left you seized? Its aloof orbs, a tunneled horse. Your thirst for greed deceived your needs, polluted behind heap you couldn't see. Its wealth amassed, sharpened with joy alongside your heart as it shaded void. It still cracks my heart. I yearn of greater race the meaning of what you sought. Bewitching women, outstanding position, excessive notes, global recognition. Despite such fortune and stature, its vast remained fractured. Lip slits encrusted, your moors fasted for deeper carpets. Alluring stairs, countless women, are planted seeds to pursue its primal ambition. See as it reaches out its limbs to obtain things more than him. Though it's begun partial, I felt its concepts evolve to bricks of carnal. My pupils detected its crave of holistic wealth, torn as a result of selfish yelps. You restless saber who dug and craved, with crimson scars which prickled your brain. What you sought went items to shelf. What you strived was desire itself. Its heavy genitals, the weight of its greed expands and breeds to lewd, to perform the unethical. I imagined it knew as clear as day, for its fever for greed escalates to rape. Your palms were sweaty, breaths were heavy, lips were flaky. To pursue a dangerous must, forth emerged the terror of lust. The echoes of greed led in its need for flesh. It was clinged on icings, attentive to fillings. You valued vulvas. You care for hearts. The enticing pool of lechery litter the depths of your treachery. Its ballistic limbs touch the spikes of pleasure. But did you ever consider the point space in your liver? You plundered this spark for flame, gain for pain. Its primitive parks ignite the shits of blood. How many women have been grieved? Libido took its toll. It became a dog of a leash. Did the injections of your seed rattle you with greed? Even in my sleep, my eyes reminisce. Unlit film strips. It haunts me a lot. Every round I saw, a restless beast. Pound untold hearts. Its need for sex was its fast food to fuel its zest. You should have quit in part. These excess sticks formed a bit beyond just your lust. The trace was king away, the demon's savage raid. Wide as it sat for season take. The creature's stock was full, yet it went for more. Even with these wives, still your hunger never died. Vacant and stray with no content to pinch. Your mouth then sipped for more vices to binge. I recall as your amorous thoughts move to a pig's fall. With all you want in place with no stumble, why does your stomach continue to rumble? They couldn't help but find him weird. Its thoughts were full, but it saw it as new. Did this pig want to become a bull? Whether it be bacteria, virus, fungi or mold, your saliva seeked whatever its teeth could dig and own. Hungering goes manifests to gutturals. I noticed as it began to take your soul. Stability and tranquility, to which it disregarded for its version of liberty. Your center of mass is shifting black. Could end your life with no turning back. Oh, are the depths of your hunger with puked me into light colors. Its chosen fleet, and ate. Its chosen fleet, and ate. Its chosen fleet, and ate. Your abdomen is opening out. Will you ever stop? Your abdomen is opening out. Will you ever stop? Your abdomen is opening out. Will you ever stop? Oh, how its graves festered on stairs, draining its lungs and never cared. Oh, how its graves festered on stairs, draining its lungs and never cared. Each turn in rows, as several wives stormed through doors, serving loads of toads. Though its joy had never rose. Excessive excess perplexed thy intellect of pleasure and torment. Our bridge splits further apart, as the abundance of his glutton blurred the meaning of its substance. As we stand, its present day, with a lack of legs for base, hands to create, a head to reflect, a heart to care, let alone a corpse to see you off. Don't you see how much you've lost? Even during that time in the room of time, The hand races of its wives began to decline, leaving you marked, startled, a hungry shark. Why did you bark? Your tiny limbs reached and arched simultaneously. Its plates crashed to brittle sparks. You were a vast infant, impotent to establish wants for needs and clarify needs for wants. Pools of gore cling to floors. Its mills of gold shifted to mold. Corpses were left, none to collect. Velocity dived, paralyzed your drive. It was submerging in pleasure. Its belly starved for lack of leisure. How far are you willing to go? Don't you feel sin taking you home? I thought, but didn't say. I knew these actions were vain, and would soon have led it to its grave. My brain remains fractured from the erosion of its soul and figure. Perhaps it attempted to stand and twist its fate, though I'm afraid the damage was far too great. Why keep ingesting? Don't you feel the hole that lingers every feast? Even words wouldn't reach. It only knew eat. Your fangs broke down with every huff and puff. Don't you know more was never enough? Every strike of bites shattered ties, pulled closer to its demise. Damage stained, 0 lives in sight for you to choke. Rest assured, one will slit your throat. I then saw the compound of glutton begin to tear his buttons. The state of its life swiftly spiraled as razor-sharp spikes teared its might. As diseases and bane toxins foul your mind, don't you see how you've caused thyself to misalign? No reaction I saw. Its egocentric sight for more blinded it of the beauty the world has in store. Your fear of loss for bears shed tears and caused you to split at those you once steered. A hamster on a wheel you appeared to be. The minds of insects it slowly built as the effects of excess feasted its whole until nothing was left. You consume in hopes of worthwhile. Don't you feel your stubbornness is futile? The sin left you infertile. I saw fried food rob you of care for life. Its weight was too great, and its ego began to deflate. You became passive and dry with the will to fight. Its motions went stiff, resembled a stick. I saw the indulgence of activity dwarfed a pawn of lethargy. Oh, how I wept as the height of your place descended by fate. Its spirits dissolved into a void of depression, the sourced root of obsession. Beware of that mindless bite. This act of hog is turning you sloth. I witnessed mountains of food, market cold and rude. Your alter ego succumbed to soothness like a couch. From there, its vicious streams was undergoing a downward spiral, as mind and body forming docile. So consumingly fluff is what you do? This diving substance is molding you, fool. Poisons chewed, and stood there a mannequin. I was left confused. Its brain compressing, incentives ending. Who is fast approaching to regain what's right? Though I suppose you've accepted this as the end of your life. With the meals and spoils, thy intellect's taken a drop. It was only certain you turned sloth. Now our ears hear it shift from hog to sloth. Falling down a hill so deep left you shock. Its stout-like figure gave in to the weapons of Earth's mirror. All you did was shiver and quiver. I ask why you couldn't liberate from the chains as a sinner. Oh, how my heart melts, a latent talent, chewed as effects of inaction. Its final days, trivial. static, mundane, maze of pain, bland taste from the weight of your ways. Oh, how glutton robbed you sane, languor gripped and inflicted pain. Down you walked, the path of sloth. These eyes of mine, and what it foresaw, wild boar, transition poor, a headless chicken rushing away, stripped of dignity and right to stay. That was strange. Wouldn't you a king fight to maintain its reign? Its life quick progression folded swiftly to a ball of recession, a hollow impression as I saw it seep into state depression. Its prestige title, stripped from nations, a false idol, untold fresh souls and thirst of father, you cowered it away for selfish rathers. Despite their judgments regarding lone mothers, I believe you could have formed stable recovers. A community of successors would have heightened your endeavors, yet unfavored an era for selfish pleasure. Its lack of grits tearing its spirits, an idle figure draining minutes. Despite the highest stature, its motives were robbed of passion and rapture. Do you think fleeing will leave you down the path of easing? Its descriptive vision sinking in abyss, stripped of meaning, without shade for hint. Thou trembled and fleed, not a king's creed, stumbled and trapped in a whirlpool you dwelled, I missed the spell to rise from hell. A terrible soul I recall divide its lust for wealth. Even the loudest waves never had it shift alternative ways. Disguised as a figure deprived of tears, sensations of fear pierced your ears. Stones of bricks piled the dirt, but I believe the way of sloth thou to desert avert. Inner and outer, its ties shattering in blank towers. If sin feasts on more days, you'll morph to the product of your ways. But things were already too late. What I knew would take place was all too great, as the vicious sparks of docility claimed the final spark of vitality. Its final day. Dim orbs, stale lips, deaf ears, parched tears, cordless throat, breathless notes, fractured brain, painful fate, heartfelt ache, blood deflates. Despite the pain inflicted on the pride of his might, perhaps even he considered it a disturbing sight, a malnourished fright. The choice of slumber on the path of meaning led you down a void of eternal bleeding. Even now, my eyes still rain the pain of shame. My inability to engage sees him afraid. And so the brief candle corrodes. A seething blade re-enters its sheath. The warrior parts, retains his creed. Only skull remains. Just another product of nature's game. An ambitious man you were. One who tasted the heights of success. Who also heard fortunes of others you stress. A man who felt flames of one's own hate. Eyes which saw and desired to take. Until the dust settled, the no was at stake. Then your life did break. Did you ever wonder if the crown you wore was heavy enough to break you? Did you ever stop to wonder if the life you had coveted was truly better than the one you had? Did the fire that burned within you ever leave you with anything but ashes? Or did it consume everything you once loved? Did the gold you chased ever fill the emptiness inside? Or did it only leave you wanting more? Did the fleeting pleasure you sought ever satisfy the longing? Or did it only feed the hunger? Did your indulgence ever quench the thirst? Or did it only make you thirstier for the next feast? Did the comfort of your stillness ever bring you peace? Or did it bury you deeper in the things you never did? I guess we'll never know. But you, standing here, still have time to choose. Let their mistakes be a warning, not a fate you must follow. For every sin, there is a lesson, a path you can take to rise above. Do not let the weight of pride blind you, or the hunger of greed consume you. Let wrath burn away only what needs to go, and let envy fuel growth, not despair. Seek love, not lust, and indulgence only when it brings joy, not emptiness. Find purpose in your actions, not in stagnation. Life is fleeting, but your choices can leave a legacy. The grave may silence the voice, but the living still have time to hear the truth.